Yo, what's shaking with it, y'all? What's happening? This is your boy J Hood and all that, and you are now tuned into the Tales from the Hood vlog series. And we got a new episode for you guys today. But before we get into that, I need everybody to stop what they're doing right now and go download my new project entitled S.E.L.F, available right now on all digital streaming platforms. And while you at it, pick up the Pesci trilogy as well, man. Part 1, 2, and 3. Classic shit, man. You're gonna want that for your catalog, okay? Let's get into this shit. All right, man, so today's episode, we're going to talk about something that transpired in Puerto Rico at the same event that I was speaking about a couple episodes ago when I was talking about performing with Little Flip. It was at the Mix Show Power Summit, right? We were still signed to Universal Motown. Maybe like around the end of 03, 04, something like that. Now, don't quote me because the time frame might be a little off, but you get the picture. All right, so you know, I'm not sure if it was like the second day that we was there or maybe the third. But anyway, we're there looking for weed. Clearly no one is from there, so we don't know where to get the weed from. We all stand on a resort. It's all type of artists there and shit, you know. Everybody smokes. But me, I needed to smoke. Like we was looking for weed for like a whole day and shit. And you know how smokers get. You don't get no weed. Motherfuckers be getting agitated and shit, so I'm like, where the hell is the weed at? Who the hell got bud? I know somebody got weed. So I'm spending the whole morning looking for weed and shit. Couldn't find no weed. So that afternoon, you know, everybody decided to go jet skiing. Well, Sheik and them didn't go, but I wanted to go jet skiing and shit. So in order to go jet skiing, you had to get on this, like, it was like a boat that took you across the water of the resort into another section of the resort, but it took like 10 minutes to get there. So only way to get, you know, to that location was to ride the boat. So I got on the boat. It was me, Juelz, Young Gunz Freeway, if I'm not mistaken, and a whole bunch of other people. You know, it was flooded. You know what I'm saying? So we on the boat, we all talking and shit. I'm asking everybody, I'm like, yo, where the hell is the tree at? Joel's like, yo, I don't know, I'm looking for some myself. I'm like, damn, man, these motherfuckers got us at this shit with no tree. Niggas can't smoke. Like, god damn, man. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, everybody like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man, damn, everybody looking for weed. So we finally, you know, get to the other location of the resort. We get off. So we're walking to the, everybody's walking to the place where you rent the jet skis at. So on our way walking to get the jet skis, somehow, some way, I overhear someone talking to this guy at this little hut. You know, he's selling like little souvenirs and shit like that at this hut. So somebody's talking to the guy behind the register and shit, and I overhear him speaking about, you know, buying some weed. So I'm ear hustling and shit. My ears are like, oh shit, somebody said something about weed. So I go over there and I see him like hand homeboy off some little shit. I see like a little transaction. So I'm like, oh shit, this is lit. These niggas think they low. So I went over to homeboy. I'm like, yo, what you got? He started telling me, you know, all the different weed he got and shit. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So he got his weed in these little plastic containers that you get out the gumball machine. It wasn't the bags, it was the plastic containers that, you know, with the little plastic tops on them and shit that you could take off. So I ain't gonna lie, I caught me maybe about 6 or 7 of those things, right? And the shorts that I had on didn't have any pockets in them. They was Ola shorts. If anybody know what Ola shorts are, those are the basketball shorts that you could just tie up and shit. So I put the weed inside of my shorts, like inside the lining, you know what I mean? And I just tied it up. I don't know how I was walking with that shit, but I managed to walk with the shit in the lining of my shorts. So I went to go holler at Juelz and them niggas. I'm like, yo, son, homeboy over here got weed. Look what I just got from this nigga. Showed them the weed. It was like, what a nigga got? They went over there, did they thing, copped the day trade from them and shit. So, you know, at this point, everybody got weed now. We all good and shit. Now we go back to the jet ski, we stash the weed and all that. Niggas is jet skiing, you know, for a little while, a couple hours and shit like that. So now It come time to take the jet skis back. We took the jet skis back. Everybody, get their weed back, stash it back up where they had it at originally. Now we on our way back to the boat to take us across back to the resort. Everybody gets back on the boat. Everything cool. We ain't really thinking nothing of it. So, upon getting on the boat, we're waiting to pull off. And we thinking, it's gonna pull off in like 5 minutes because the captain of the boat was like, we're departing at such and such time. Just give us a minute. So another 5 minutes passed. We're still there. So we looking around now. We're like, what the hell going on, man? So another 5 minutes passed, and now niggas are starting to get antsy and shit. We're like, yo, what the fuck is really going on? So now 10 minutes passed. Now we get suspicious and shit. I look across into the water, and I see two little smaller boats that say Policia on the side of them. The boats are approaching the bigger boat, which is the boat that we're on. So as they get closer, everybody that caught Bud, they start stashing their shit. They throwing it and all type of shit. Me, I had to make a choice at that very second. Throw your weed away, stash it, or keep it on you and, take a risk. Like I said, I was looking for weed that whole day and the day before. So I'm like, man, I gotta smoke. I'm not throwing shit. I'm not stashing nothing, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking I'm slick. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, they ain't gonna find this shit. They get off their boats, you know what I'm saying? So now the captain is asking everybody to exit from the boat that we're on. Like, we need everybody to get off the boat, da-da-da. I'm like, oh shit, it's lit. So everybody's getting off. As we're getting off, I see those same police going to the hut of the dude that was selling the weed. They cuffed that nigga. You know what I mean? Then they end up cuffing the first nigga that they sold the weed to. That he sold the weed to. So now they're coming back towards our direction. I'm like, damn. So, their two boats is on like the little dock that they pulled up on and shit. So they put homeboy in one of the little small boats, little small shits. Damn near like the same size as some fake ass canoe type shits, but they was like motor boats. They put the nigga on the shit, and then they walked over to where we were. They started asking motherfuckers like, yo, you got anything on you? Niggas like, nah. They started checking everybody. Nobody had anything on them. So they get to like the 8th person, 9th person, checking everybody. Nobody had nothing on them. They come to me. Excuse me. ¿En habla español? I'm like, nah. It was a lady and a man. He like, yo, you got anything on you? I'm like, nah. I was like, you sure? I'm like, nah. Dude looked at the woman. He looked at me. You sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure, man. I don't got nothing on me. I'm good. Man, they turned me around. They started checking me and shit. They ain't find nothing. They couldn't, they ain't feel nothing. So, dude grabbed me by my waistline like this and started shaking my shorts. Lo and behold, all the goddamn weed started dropping. He looking at me. He looking at me like this. I'm like, I'm throwing my ass up on some like, yo, I ain't no type shit. Some stupid shit. So he looking at me, he just shook his head like, man, they threw them cuffs on me so fast. And he tried to scare the hell out of me, you know what I mean? He like, oh, Papa, you fucked up, Papa. I'm like, what? He like, you fucked up. I'm like, what you talking about, man? He just kept doing that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, what's wrong with this dude? He's like, yo, you fucked up, Papa. I'm like, why? What happened, man? He like, we just gave somebody 4 years for a blunt. I'm like, what? He like, yeah. We just gave him 4 years for a blunt. You got all this weed. Papa, you fucked up. So I ain't gonna lie. This nigga scaring the nigga. I'm like, nah, man, this can't be the end of my story. Not in Puerto Rico, my nigga. You know what I mean? It can't go down like this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man, this is whack. So, you know, I copped some new earrings before we went over there to Puerto Rico and shit. You know, so one of my guys that I was with, he came over to me and tried to take my earrings off and shit. He was like, nah, you don't want to wear these, you know, and in the jail out here. So he tried to like take him out my ears and tell the police officer like, yo, let me get my homie earrings real quick. He came over to like try to get my earrings out my ears and shit. The nigga shoved this nigga so hard, told the nigga to get the fuck out of here. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yo, just let the nigga get my earrings. He's like, nah, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, ah, man. So now I see what type of time this nigga's on. I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. So they put me on a little motorboat. They set me down and shit. At this point, everybody that was originally on the boat, they're back on a big boat now. Everybody just looking. Niggas got their cameras out. They got their phones out and shit. Everybody just looking, shaking their head like, damn, man. Like, damn. I mean, like, everybody, man. Juelz Freeway, Young Gunz, all the other rappers that was on the boat, they just looking and shit. I'm feeling like a dickhead. I'm like, damn, I should have just do my shit like everybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I thought I was slick. Sitting on that shit, I got my head down and shit. I ain't gonna lie, looking mad sad, man. I'm like, damn. So now it's me and the dude that sold the weed to me. We both cuffed on the boat and shit. So the big boat that we was on, it pulls off. You know, going back across the water. Everybody's still looking and shit. I could see him. It looked like, you know the memes and shit where the nigga Squidward is behind bars looking outside and he see, excuse me, the nigga Patrick, he looking behind the bars on the meme and he see the nigga SpongeBob outside and shit looking up. And that nigga just looking mad lonely through the bars. That's how I was looking on that fucking boat watching everybody on the bigger boat sail away. I'm like, damn, man. So the police get on the boat with us now and shit. The boat is so fucking small that I ain't going front. I'm shook, my nigga. Like, if they was really on some dirty shit, I don't know why I be watching too many movies, but I'm like, yo, if these niggas toss us over this little ass boat into this big ass body of water, we are finished. We gonna drown. We gonna be done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the little boat pull off that we were on the motor shit, it took us at least like 10, 15 minutes to get across to where we was going. That whole time, mad shit is running through my mind. I'm like, fuck, damn. I don't know what the fuck these niggas about to do to me. I'm in Puerto Rico. They about to take me to the jail. I don't speak no Spanish like that. These niggas gonna be looking at me like I'm the American in there. I don't know what the fuck going on. So I'm just sitting there thinking, head down and shit. I'm like, fuck. So we finally end up getting across the water and shit. And it's this parking lot that was there. So they walk us over to the parking lot. And they got like a van over there and shit. So they open the van door. They put me inside the van. You know what I mean? Like, I get in there, set me in there with the cuffs and shit. And for some reason, they didn't put homeboy in the van though. They closed the door, locked me in the van, and both of them took homeboy into some building. They was in the building probably for like 10 minutes. While I was sitting there inside the van, I don't know how, but I still had 2 containers of weed on me. I had my hands cuffed behind my back and shit. I grabbed a container of weed from out my waistline, stashed the shit like inside the fucking car seat, like, you know, the cushion and all that. I just like shoved that shit down there. So they end up coming back into the van after 10 minutes and shit, but they wasn't empty-handed like they was when they first went in there. Motherfucker came out with 2 bags, 2 black trash bags. I don't know what the fuck was in them shits, or I didn't at first anyway. So they got the trash bags, they get homeboy and put him in the van and shit, so now we driving. They take us to San Juan. We get to the San Juan jail. They book us and shit. And you know, at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? This shit can't be real. So come to find out, they went in this nigga's crib, took his money, and they took the rest of his fucking weed, right? Now, I know they took some of this nigga bread. Like, all the bread that they took to the station, that wasn't all the bread that was in that trash bag, you know what I mean? They clipped the nigga for some bread and shit, so. They give me a call. I had to call my manager, tell him, you know, exactly what was going down, and that I needed to get bailed out, and you know, I had to bail myself out though. Ain't nobody bail me out. I had to, you know, tell him exactly what to do, and you know what I mean, line shit up so I could, you know, bail myself out and shit. So I end up bailing myself out after a few hours. I probably spent like 5 hours there. I think we had to perform that night. And I was telling the police officer, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta perform tonight. He's like, man, I don't know, man. Like, yo, you fucked up for real, man. He keeps saying that. He like, you fucked up, papa. Like, he keep doing that shit. I'm like, yo, dog, why you keep doing that shit? I'm like, look, man, I was telling nigga all type of lying shit. I'm like, yo, man, I ain't know it was illegal over here, man. I thought it was legal. I thought you could smoke here. I didn't know it was against the law. I was making up everything that you could say. Like, you know, he like, nah, man, it's illegal. You can't be over here with this weed. I'm like, damn, you think I really would have been trying to smoke if I knew it was illegal, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I wouldn't, yo, come on, man. I ain't know. They was like, man, we just gave somebody 4 years, papa. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? They got all these type of niggas in this fake ass holding cells and shit. They looking at me. I'm like, damn, man. But luckily, nobody even said nothing to me while I was in there as far as the inmates and shit. So, like I said, I was up in there probably for like 5 hours. I ended up getting out. And we had to perform that night, like I was saying. It was like, matter of fact, was it Universal's night? I don't know if it was Universal's night or it was just a performance that we had to go to. I know me and Pete ended up performing with Akon and shit because he did the Locked Up song with him. That night is when I met Chris Brown for the first time. This was before he, you know, really took off like that. He was he had this one of his little mans with him. Them niggas was on some young shit. They had the same outfits on and shit, same shirt, same pants, same sneakers and shit. I'm like, oh shit, who this little nigga right here? You know, but he was like, he approached me in SP and shit. He was like, yo, what's good? I'm like, oh, okay, what's good? Like, oh shit, he dapped me up. You know, the nigga was in awe, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit. You know, I ain't know who he was, back then. I ended up seeing him perform. I'm like, yo, this little nigga right here is hard. This nigga gonna be this nigga got star qualities. So we end up performing with Akon. We did the Locked Up shit and all that. Got off stage. Everybody was loving the shit. Went backstage. That's when I first met Keisha Coles also. They introduced us to Keisha. At the time, I think like Keisha either had like a chipped tooth or, not dissing her or nothing like that, but I think like she had a chipped tooth or something like that. But one of the A&Rs from Universal introduced us. And you know, she was giving a nigga the eye. But she wasn't like Keisha Cole at the time. She was like on the come up type shit, so. You know, I ain't gonna front. I wasn't really paying her no mind. But that was the first time that I met her and shit. So now, back to the real story. We was only supposed to be in Puerto Rico probably for maybe 4 days. So now it come time for everybody to go back home. I couldn't go home. I had to stay there for my court date, which was, I think like 2 days after we were supposed to leave. So the only person that ended up staying with me was my manager at the time. Okay, so now, you know, they telling us, they like, yo, if you leave, you're gonna have a warrant. And you can't even get out the airport, so don't even try to leave. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I didn't even try though, but I ended up having to pay for extra hotel days and shit. Matter of fact, before I even get to that, Big Joe, that used to be with Dipset, I don't know if he's still with him or not, but he used to do like security with him or he played some role with him. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Big Joe because Joe flipped on the hotel staff and the hotel period when they found out I got arrested. Like he was riding for a nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Like when news spread back, you know, back to the resort that I got locked up, he flipped. He like, how the fuck y'all got one of our artists out here getting locked up and y'all do this shit? Da, 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 da. He was flipping. Like, I mean, I'm like, oh shit. Like, yo, he was flipping more than the lies of my manager and shit. Like, that nigga was going in. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for that. I remember that like it was yesterday. But back to what I was saying. I ended up staying there for the 2 days. Now come time for me to go to court. I go to court. You know, I had regular clothes on. They didn't let me go in there with the regular clothes. They like, nah, you can't come in here like that. So I had to go buy some casual attire. I had to go buy like button-up shirt and some slacks and all that type of shit. You know, I copped the shit. Now I go back to court. We go up in there, and luckily, now this is the only reason I was able to get off. the cops' stories didn't match up. One cop told the truth about going into homeboy's house and taking his money and weed. The other cops said they didn't go there. So the stories didn't match, and it ended up being an illegal search, and we end up both getting off. Man, I was happy as shit. As soon as they released us and I was able to leave, I'm like, I'm never coming back here, man. Like, straight up, I'm out, man. I fucking George Jefferson walked to the fucking airport, like, you know what I mean, strolling and shit. I'm fucking out of here, man. You ain't gonna never see me again. And ever since that day, I never been back to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was crazy to me, because I thought like that was really about to be the end of the kid. I'm like, they about to lock me up out here, and I'm about to be sitting in this cell, and I'm about to rot out here, and niggas back home gonna be like, damn. But that ain't end up being my story. But like always, I needed to share that with you guys. I know, you know, it's probably something that y'all will want to hear. It's an interesting story. So until next time.